had the most fascinating week driving an Asian-inspired car, which has surprised me in more ways than one. I think it's going to surprise you too. Come check it out. Interior-wise, I'm not surprised. There's a lot of use of hard plastic, but for once, I'm actually going to excuse it. This is their first attempt, and let's hope that in the next models to come, we'll see an upgrade to the quality of the material used. Another reason why the use of plastic in this particular car is not an issue for me is because that's really not the focus of the car. This is about getting into the brand. It's about getting into a slightly bigger car at a very affordable price. It's really, for me, the key of what the Landwind stands for. I'll give the Landwind a pass on the type of material that they've used, but what I cannot give them a pass on is the fact that the steering wheel is as basic as they come. I would have appreciated at least volume controls so that I don't take my hands off the steering wheel, and there's no Bluetooth. That's not good. That's not good at all. That, for me, should be a basic standard feature in any car, and we don't have it in this. Once again, let's be hopeful and hope that the next model will come with all the basic features that we've come to expect in a car. You've got your radio, fantastic, quite a lot of buttons to play with there, and once again, the very reason that I would have wanted to have those buttons on the steering wheel instead. So what is a nice surprise is the amount of space within the Landwind. It's very spacious, and I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm not feeling too claustrophobic. Yes, it's an SUV, but sometimes in SUVs the roof's too low, or the body's too narrow, and you basically feel like you just want to drive with the door open, just to get some space, which is not the case here. And in the luggage compartment as well. Once again, aimed at the family, so you are going to be able to carry a couple of suitcases, and trust me, I do carry a couple of suitcases, and they fit in quite well. From a storage perspective, there's a lot of little bins that you can basically squirrel things away in. That's going to help a lot. I actually like the side door envelopes because they're big enough to actually carry quite a large bottle of water. Yeah, you gym bunnies know what I'm talking about. That comes in handy. So it's got your standard safety features, ABS, and dual airbags. Of course, it could do with more, particularly being a family car. But we'll live with that. What is a surprise is that it's got park distance control. I didn't expect it to have that, but that's good. And what I really like as well is the anti-glare on the interior rear view mirror. That is very helpful, particularly when you're driving in front of somebody who doesn't know the difference between dim and bright lights. So the highlight for me about the Landwind is the engine. It's a 2-liter engine, 140 kilowatts, 250 Newton meters of torque, and it really goes exceptionally well. I think for me, it is the thing about this vehicle. It's so deceptive because you think because it's Asian, it's not going to do amazing things, but it actually goes. And for that, I really, really am enjoying driving it. For a 2-liter engine, JMC claims that it has a fuel consumption of 8.5 liters per 100, which really didn't quite work out that way for me. And I don't think it had anything to do with my driving style, but of course, as we all know, these fuel consumption figures are worked out under conditions very, very different to how and where we drive. For instance, they don't use the aircon, and basically they're tested in a wind tunnel. So that's not really practical, and for that reason, I don't think those kind of figures are ever correct. I didn't get anywhere near 8.5, more like 10, and it hurt. It really hurt my pocket. But then again, maybe that's just me. I have to add this in, and it's a little bit cheeky, but this is a manual transmission. The automatic is coming later on in the year, but the cheeky part is that it is a 6-speed manual transmission. Pirates. I think another thing that is worthy of a mention is that it has a very small turning circle. It's easy to maneuver. The steering wheel is pretty light, so you're not going to have problems getting in and out of a parking. It just turns, and for me, that's really great. At the end of the day, the Landwind is not a bad car. I might even venture far enough and say it's a good car. Remember, it's positioning for people who basically need something a little bit bigger than what they currently have. If at all they have a car, they have a family and they don't want to spend too much. Perfectly good business sense to me. The things that I don't like about it really are not going to break the bank. There's no reason why you wouldn't buy it because it basically delivers on everything else. I'm going to give the Landwind a 6. Yeah.